Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dio Biabazaire, and I welcome each and everyone for this Python 2 Day workshop, and you're highly welcome. Then I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Sorry, zoom in a little bit for us, you, please.
Okay, let me try to first. Is it okay now?
Yeah, I think this should be fine. Yeah.
Okay, very much. The presentation is about manipulating lists, tuple, and dictionaries. I will highlight more on the manipulating list, tuple. Then my colleague Soha will also give the presentation about the dictionaries. Before I maybe talk about the list, I'll first give a highlight about all the three. When we are dealing with the list, tuple, and dictionaries, these are basically the data structures, like structures that help us to store or save our information for like further analysis. Or maybe if you want to do any analysis anytime, then you store your data using, let's say, the list or tuple or the dictionary. Then if we can begin with the list, this is the most data structure that is used in Python. And because it has a lot of operations that you can make on it, if you want maybe to do any kind of change, or maybe you want to change your data, you want to change any information that you stored, then you use mostly the list, and it is the most one that is used. Then we define a list as the ordered collection of arbitrary objects between the square brackets. Objects, we can say objects or maybe items. This is part of the information that you want to keep. Then the list, basically you just make square brackets. Then in the square brackets, that's why you put your items or the objects that you're calling. You can define a list, maybe you say a list of strings, a list of numbers, maybe a list containing a mixture, or the names, or maybe the numbers, all of them being together. Now, practically, we can now create our list. We started by creating a list of strings. With the list of strings, the items or objects that you are forming, they should all be in quotes. Like you see the first item, the second item, they all supposed to be in quotes. That's what we call to be a list of strings. Now, for instance, if we can call a list of names, you see the first name, Dio, then Moses, Debbie. This is part of your information that you want to keep. Remember, we have known that if you are forming something and you give it a variable, now, for instance, our variable is list of names. Now, if we want to print out this, we must, if we want to get this information, we must say print. This side, this time you can't just, let's say, run this program and you get it, because it has a variable. Then you must put the word print this variable, then you give this information. Then for per this print, we gave out the word type. And we are saying that type is a function that displays the type of object or data structure. If you have formed, let's say, this list, which type does it belong to? Now, let us run and we see our results. Oh. Then we are seeing that our list Our type is a list, and this is the list that we formulated. This is one of the way how we can define a list of strings. Then we can also define a list of numbers. Now here we had a list of numbers from 2 up to 23. Then again, it is the same story. If we want to obtain this list that we have stored, we just say print the list of numbers. Then if you want to check the type of the data structure that we have formed, then we just say print. This is just to print out like a variable that you formed, like the way how it is as it is written. Then here you are typing out, you are printing out the type of the data structure. Then when you try to run, still it gives you it as the type as a list, because it is a list that we formed, and we said a list should be in the square brackets and with items or objects inside it. Then this is the printout, and we are forming our list as numbers from 2 up to 23. Still, a list does not specifically contain the same numbers or the same items. Now, for instance, we had the list of strings, then the list of numbers. Now we can again make a mixture of the numbers. Let's say we are going to also formulate a list containing the lists that you stored. This is what now we are calling up here, that a list of both numbers and strings. Then I give a variable as a list of mixture, where I'm having numbers, I'm having, let's say, the strings, then the list of names, the one that we formulated up, then the list of numbers, the one that we formulated above. Then if we are going also to we are going to print out our list of mixture, you find out that it contains these numbers. At the same time, it contains the same lists that we formulated up. See our results, you see that our type is a list, but when you see the one that we have printed, we have numbers, we have the strings, then we have the lists that we had up. Remember, we embedded them, the list of numbers, the list of names, and the list of numbers. All of them are there. Then we called it to be a list of mixture. Here we are trying to store different information, or maybe different objects within the same list. Now, we have seen how you can create a list, but how can I be able to specifically get an element, or maybe an object within that same list? For instance, maybe I want to get an item, let's say dog. I want to specifically get this item from a list of mixture. How do I do that? Then this one takes us into what we call list indexing or access. Here you are kind of accessing the elements which are within the list that you have formulated. Now, we do this with help of what we call index. And the first index in Python is always 0, then 1, and so on. Now, if we want to get the first item in our lists, these are our lists that we formulated up. Now, I want to get the first item. What I do, I say the list of numbers, then we say the first index is 0. Then what you say, you put a variable, then you put square brackets, then you put 0. This one gives you the first element in our list of numbers, and our first element is 2. Then the list of numbers, sorry, this is the list of names. Then the first, our first item in the list of names is Dio. Then the list of numbers, our first item is 2. Like that, even the list of mixture, our first item is 1. This is how you call the maybe any item that you formulate. Now, for instance, here we are dealing with the first item. The first item, you just put a 0. As we have said, the first index is 0. If you see very well, we are printing out the first item for the list of names, which is Dio, the list of numbers 2, then the list of mixture, which was here 1. These are the 3 outcomes that we get. It implies that if we want to get the first item, put a 0. Now, for instance, if I'm asked for the second item, implies I'll put a 1, 1, 1, like that. Now, If I want to get the last item, yes, if you know the number of items which are there, you can go by adding, let's say 0, 1, 2, and onwards. But if you don't know the number of items that are there, getting the last item, just put -1. This tells us that if you want to get items starting from the last one, we begin with -1, then -2 as you're going to the left hand side. Then the last item here, we just put -1. If we run very well from the list of names, our list of names are here. The last item was Matthias, and this is the outcome. The numbers, our last number was 23, and when you see 23, then the list of mixture, the last one was the list of numbers, and our list of number was here. And this is the way how we can obtain the last item. Then getting an item in a list. Remember, in this list of mixture, we had to put inside some lists that we formulated. For instance, the list of names and the list of numbers. Now, I want to get an item inside the list, let's say the list of names. And that item, how can I obtain it? Then what you do, you put 2 square brackets. Let's say the first one will exactly deal with an element in the first list. Let's say this first list. Then the second one will specifically deal within inside the list that you are dealing with. Now, for instance, we want the list of names. The list of names here, it is in position 5. We index 5. Then we go inside the names and we see index 3. What element is there? We find that there is Bernard. If you see very well from the list of names, you find that Bernard takes the index 3 in the list of names inside. This is the way how we can obtain that. Now, back to, we have seen now how we can create and how we can access elements within the list. Then still, you can also access like a portion of items within a list. Now, for instance, a list of numbers, you can say I want maybe from 5 up to 13, a list of names from Moses up to Bernard. This is what we are calling to be slicing. It's like as if you are getting like a sub list of a list. Now, for instance, here we are giving examples. If I want, let's say, elements, because here I may deal with, I'm dealing only with the list of numbers here, which is this. If I want elements, maybe from the 3rd to the 5th, this is what you're supposed to do. Like you say, let's say 2, then colons 5. This one gives you from 3, from the 3rd element to the 5th element. You just need to count the indexes accordingly. Now, for instance, if I want from the 3rd to 5th, this is what I'm supposed to do. Then from the beginning, only from the 1st element to the 4th element, you say just colons up to colons, then -5. Then, but it is all about counting the indexing within here. Then from the 6s to the end, then from the beginning to end. Now, for this is what we are trying to mean. Count the indexing according to what exact items you want to get. Because remember, you want to get like a portion of a list. You count the indexing because you have seen how the indexing works. If you say, I want from the 3rd to the 5th, then that is 2 colon 5. Likewise, then if we run, you'll see what exactly we are getting. Now, from here, we are saying element from the 3rd to the 5th. The 3rd element is here. Then to the 5th element, which is here. This is what we are obtaining, 7 to that. Then from the beginning, or the 1st element to the 4th element, we are saying colons up to -5, colons then -5. Then from the 6s and so on. Then still with the list, you can add objects or items based on what you're having. For instance, if we have the list of numbers here, and you still want maybe to add, let's say we stopped on 23, then you want to add 25. How do you do that? And that's what we are calling to be appending. Appending specifically puts an item at the extreme end of a list. Now, for instance, if you see here, we are saying within the list of names, we want to put a name called Soha. This is one of our tutors. You see her presenting the list of within the list of names, and we want to put the name Soha. Remember, the list of names is here. There is no word Soha. Then we want to append. Append, we are saying that we are adding an item in that list that you formulated or you created. We say that the append Soha. Now here, this is a list of numbers. We are saying append 27. Numbers we have up to 23. Then we are saying append 27. Then what we are doing here, we are saying print the list of names before. Then this is the list of names we want to print out. Then print the list of names after we print out to see the difference. Likewise, the list of names before, sorry, the list of numbers before and the list of numbers after to see the difference. If we run before, we are having this, the exact one that we created. Then after, we are saying that we are having at the extreme end, Soha, the name that we appended. Then the numbers, we ended with 23. Then after appending a 27 here, we're having 27 here. This one helps us to increase the items or objects within our list that we created. Then we are dealing with, we can also kind of put or maybe increase the items within our list based on the positions. Now, this is what we are calling to be inserting an item in a list. If I want to kind of put more item within a list that I formulated, and I want to specifically put in some positions, then we call it to be insert. You are inserting an item in a certain position in a list that you created. Now, for instance, here was, I think this is insert instead of append. Supposed to be insert. That's a typo. It's a mistake. When we if we are to insert, let's say in the list of names, and we are to insert a name Soha, the list of names is here. If we are to insert a name Soha and we say that we are putting a name Soha, let's say in a position 1, this position that you're having here deals with the index. Now, for instance, index 1, we are having the name Moses, but now index 1, we want to put index 1 as Soha. Then this is what now we are doing, insert within index 1, Soha. Then print. If we print, before we are having Moses. Now, after inserting, we are having Soha. I think you can see the difference. Insert and append. They all increase the items within the list, but the difference depends on the position. Append puts it at the extreme end, then insert puts it at the exact position where you want it to be. Now, you have your information or objects within a list that you created, but you would wish to change. Now, for instance, if you say a list of numbers, instead of 11, you want maybe to be like, let's say 55. What do? This is what we are calling to be replacing items in the list. You replace the exact item which you want. Let's say maybe if I want to replace 7, maybe into to be 9, then this is what we are calling to be replacing item. Now, we are saying print out the list of names before. Now implies we are going to deal with the list of names. If we print the list of names before, and we say the list of names taking the position 2 equals to Deborah. If you print before, you see that the position at the index 2, in the list of names, we have Debbie. Then we are replacing Debbie into Deborah. Then after, if we print out, let us see our outcomes. Here we're having Debbie. Now, if we change or replace to Deborah, we are having Deborah. I think you see the difference. This is all about the list. Now, let us also look at the tuple. A tuple can also be kind of a data structure, also helping us in storing information. But for it, it is a bit different from the list, in a way that with the list, we deal with the square brackets and we put our items inside the square brackets. But with the tuple, we use the parentheses. These ones, the tuple are a bit different from the list in a way that for it, you don't change any item that is there. You can deal with maybe producing the items which are there. Let's say if you want the first item, the second item. But if you are changing, let's say replacing an item, it is so difficult. Like it brings for you an error. You don't change any item that you have put in the tuple. This is one of the difference between a tuple and a list. Then by creating a tuple, we just, if you recall very well how we formulated the list of names, then if you say the tuple of names or maybe the tuple of a string, just change a square into the parentheses. Then here we formulate the tuple of a string. Then if you want the tuple of numbers, oh, sorry, this is a typo. We are supposed to put, from there now we just formulate a tuple of numbers. It's there. Then printing is the same thing. Here, the tuple of numbers, you just say print the tuple of numbers. Then the tuple of string, you just say print the tuple of strings. This is what we have done here. The tuple of numbers, then the tuple of string. Then here we are trying to come out with the type of the data structure that you formulated. For instance, the tuple of string. You want me to know the type of the tuple of the string. You just say print out this. If we do this, you see that we are having our same information. Now, we said with the tuple, for it, you can't change the elements within, or you can't replace any item that is within the tuple. Now, when you see very well, here we are saying that following the action is not valid for a tuple. Then if we are to change, let's say the tuple of names, and we are changing the index 0 into faith, do you expect any results? Because it doesn't deal with changing or replacing items. Obviously here we expect an error. Then we are here producing or printing out the tuple of the string. Then here we are printing out the tuple of the numbers, but index 0. Here we are kind of interested in getting the first item in the tuple. If we run, you see that we are getting this printout, the first printout, then the second printout where we're having a 2, then the last printout, we are having some error. This tells us that you can't change anything within the tuple. Then that's all about the list and the tuple. Now, my friend can also highlight about the dictionaries. Soha? I don't know whether she can hear me. Hello? Deborah?
Sorry, I have to unmute her. Just a second. Just a second.
Okay. Is she going to share or I share?
She's I just unmuted her, so how you can unmute yourself, I think.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Deborah. So thank you, Deo, for this presentation. So I'm going just to jump in and talk about dictionaries. I think you can stop sharing. I can share my screen with you.
Okay, good.
Okay, I think you can see my screen.
There's some chats that is open. Can you click minimize
Okay,
it?
sure.
And then probably zoom in a little bit,
Is it okay?
a little bit more, and yeah, that's okay.
Good, thank you. So we are going to talk about one data structure called dictionary. So remember, if you have a dictionary, maybe let's say a dictionary that translates from English to French, what you have is you have a word in English and you have the translation in French. So Python have something similar where you have what we call the keys. So the keys can be seen as like the word in English, and every keys is associated to a value. That value can be seen as the translation of the word. So, so dictionary can be also have some similar stuff with the list, which is both dictionary and list are dynamic. They can grow and shrink as needed. So you can add and you can remove also. Both can be nested, and a list can contain another list. And a dictionary also can contain another dictionary. It means you can have a dictionary and you add or you put a dictionary inside that dictionary. It can also contain lists and vice versa, meaning lists can also contain a dictionary. So we have some difference between dictionary and list, which is the way you access element on dictionary. So they can be different from the way you access element on the dictionary. You access an element in a list by using the index. That's what you just see with the DEO. But when you want to access an element in dictionary, you use what we call the keys, right? So let's see how we can create a dictionary. Let's say you want to create a dictionary that you have all the countries and the population. So what you do is, this is the name of the dictionary, country population. And you have the keys here, which is the name of the country. You have Ghana here, and this is the corresponding value, which is the population of Ghana. So this is just example. Maybe it may not be the right population of Ghana, but it's just an example. So you have also maybe here Senegal, and you have the corresponding value. So one thing you should notice is that between the key and the value, you have this semicolon, which will tell you that this is the key and this is the value. Okay. So now when you print this dictionary, you will see the keys. These are the keys. So what you do to access the element is that when you do country population, which is the name of the dictionary, and you put dot items. So this will give you this. So it gives you all your item in the dictionary, right? You have Ghana, Senegal, Cameroon, Kenya. But if you do now for country population dot keys, it will give you like the couple of keys and the value. This is what you have inside. You have Ghana with the population, Senegal the population, Cameroon, and Kenya too. So you can also create a dictionary by using this function called dix. So you will have some presentation of function, so you will understand more about function. but this is a function which is defined on Python that you can use also to create a dictionary. How it works is like you have the name of your dictionary here. This can be anything. And you have the function dic, and you put parentheses, and now you have inside, so your keys and the values, right? So when you print this, okay, so it's running. Good. So if you print this, you see the same thing that the previous one. You have the name of the country and you have the population. So you can use this technique also to create your dictionary. Now, how do we access the element of a dictionary? So you want, let's say you want to know what's the population of Ghana in the dictionary that you created. What you do is you put the name of the dictionary and you put the key, which is Ghana. So when you print this, or if you run this cell, okay, because I did not run this one. Yes, so you see now, it gives you the corresponding value. So when you want to access on the value, you put the name of your dictionary and you put inside the square bracket the key. It will print out the name of your dictionary. If you want also, you can use the print function to print out. So dictionary, in a dictionary, the keys are unique. It means like you cannot have two elements in a dictionary with the same key. What you can do is you can modify. Like if I say I have this key, which is Ghana, I cannot create a item inside with the key Ghana again. What I can do is modify the value.
Sorry. Okay. So hers laptop just crashed. So I'm going to share my screen and she'll present using my laptop. We are very, very sorry for this circumstances. So just a second. I'm sharing my screen now so that you can have access. Okay. Share, manipulate, and list. Okay. Wait. So how is going to continue from here?
Okay, sorry for that. I had the issue with my laptop. Hope you can hear me. You can just put maybe yes on the chat if you can hear me. Good, okay, thank you. All right. So we were somewhere here. Okay, so what we do here is like, as I said, you cannot have like a dictionary with the same key, two items in a dictionary with the same key. But then you can create a new key and then put the corresponding value to that key. So let's say we want to add in our country population dictionary, we want to add Rwanda with the corresponding population of Rwanda. So what we do is you just put the name of your dictionary, and in square bracket, you put the name of your key, which is Rwanda here, and you assign the corresponding population of Rwanda. So this will create like add in your dictionary. So let's see what is inside the dictionary. You can just do like country. So if we print this, we will see that in our dictionary, we added Rwanda with the corresponding population of Rwanda. I have to run this. Cool. So you see, we added Rwanda with the population of Rwanda in our dictionary. You can also remove elements from a dictionary, like delete element of your dictionary. So you have this one, like this dictionary that you have, like this is the key. As I said, the key can be anything. So in the previous case, our keys are strings, right? But in this case, you have different things. You have this one, which is a number, integer, and which is a key. And you have also this one, which is a character, which is a key also. And inside this dictionary, you can see that we have a dictionary inside. So as I mentioned before, you can have a dictionary inside a dictionary. This is the case we have here. So if you want to delete the element in your dictionary, you can use this delete function that will help you to delete element in your dictionary. So if we do delete dict, our dictionary is called dict. So if we do delete dict6, this will delete the element with the key 6. This one, which is the element with the key 6. So you see, when you print it out, you don't have, this is before we delete. So after we delete, you will not have this one inside the dictionary again because we removed it. The same thing for this one. So this, what we do is we go inside this dictionary, which is A, and inside A, we go to the key 2 that we want to delete, which is this one, 4. So if you look at it here, you will not see 4 inside the dictionary again. So basically, this is what you have in dictionary. You can have also more operations on dictionary, and we will see that on the exercises. So I think this was all about the presentation of dictionary on manipulating list, tuple, and dictionary. So we will go to the exercise sessions for this part. If you have any question, you can just post it on the group before we move to the lab session. So I think there is Dominic who is saying that maybe he's not flowing. You can just let us know where you are stuck. We can try to repeat. Okay, if you don't have any other question, you can move to the exercise. Dewo, are you there? Okay, so what we will do the same thing for the previous exercise. What we will do is we will give you some time to try, and then we will go and look the solution together, right? So for the first exercise, what we want you to do is to create a list that you will name students. And in this list, you will put these names: Safia, Olivia, Isabella, James, William, right? This will be your list that you will call students. So in the second exercise, we will look at how many students are in the list, okay? And you will also, for the third exercise, print the name of the first student in the list. So remember that the list will start with 0 for the indexing. So it starts with the index 0. You will also, for the fourth exercise, you print the name of the 3 first students in the list. You have also this exercise number 4, where you will print the name of the last student in your list. Okay. You will need also to release the name of the third student by Eva. So let's say you want to change the name of the third student by Eva. So that's what we will do in this one. Exercise number 6, you will create a tuple of odd number less than 13, right? So we'll have a tuple which will contain odd number between 0 to 13, right? You will also need to print the fourth element of the tuple, okay? In the exercise number 8, you will print out the second element to the fifth element of on your tuple. Here we are asking you to change the third element to 20 in your tuple. And here you have exercise about the dictionary. What we're gonna do is we take the list that we created, we want to change it in a dictionary. So what we want you to do is you have a dictionary called Python quiz. So let's say you did the Python quiz and you want to fill all the students with their marks. So you will create a dictionary that you will call Python quiz. And in this Python quiz, you have the name of the students, okay, and the marks of the student respectively. Meaning that Safia, if you take Safia, the marks of Safia will be 12, okay, so on. And now we want you to print the Safia's marks. What is Safia's mark in this quiz? So let's say after you fill all those things, you realize that you make a mistake on Olivia's marks, and now you want to change Olivia's mark from 15 to 16. So here you will change the Olivia's mark to 16. And here you will do just some calculation. We want you to try to calculate the mean of the class for this case. Okay, so let's start from exercise 1. Create a list, name student, and you will put this name in your list: Safia, Olivia, Isabella, James, and William. Okay, so we can start. If you are stuck anywhere, you can just let us know, and we can help you to find the solution of this. If you are also done, you can just write on the chat that you did it. If you are also done, you can just write on the chat that you did it. I think someone is asking if we can access the value in a dictionary directly. I think someone is asking if we can access the value in a dictionary directly. So the way you can access the element in a dictionary is by using the key. So the way you can access the element in a dictionary is by using the key. Good. I think almost everyone had done the exercise. This is nice. Good. I think almost everyone had done the exercise. This is nice. Okay. Okay. You are getting an echo. Okay, let me see. What is that? You are getting an echo. Okay, let me see. What is that? Are you still getting an echo? Are you still getting an echo?
Let's mute ourselves and mute again. Let's mute ourselves and mute again. Hi. Hi. Is it better now? Hi. Hi. Is it better now?